Welcome to the Cloud Engineer YouTube channel. What we'll be doing in today's tutorial is using Azure Container Registry to set up a private managed registry for container images, and we'll be doing that three different ways. One's via the Azure Portal, the second way is using the Azure CLI, and the third way is using Terraform. What we'll include in this tutorial is getting the Azure Container Registry created, as well as pushing an image into that container registry and just viewing it via the portal and via the command line interface. So let's get started with the first method, which is via the Azure Portal. We'll be logging into the Azure Portal, then going into all services, then filtering the services via container, and then you'll find container registries. So click that, select the create button, and then you'll need to specify a resource group to place your Azure Container Registry within. So you might want to create a new resource group for that. From there, you'll also need to specify a registry name, and this needs to be unique across all of the different registries available on Azure. Select a location and pricing plan SKU and select next, 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 and next, and then select the create button to start the creation of your container registry. You can see it's initializing deployment at the moment, and the deployment is currently in progress. I've clipped some of this to make it go faster. Then you can go and visit the resource, and now you can see your Azure Container Registry there. It's been created, and if you go into the repositories under the services, you'll see that there's no repository set up there right now. So next, what we'll need to do is get our first repository created, and before we can do that, we need to make sure that the Docker engine is running on your computer. And we'll be using a Hello World image from DockerHub. That's what we'll be putting into our container registry. So we need to log in with the command line interface with AZ login, select your account, and you've got to select the Azure subscription you want to be using. Next, you want to do a Docker pull for that Hello World image, and that will bring that over into your local machine. Then we're going to apply a tag to that Hello World image with a tag of v1. Then we're going to log in to our container registry using the AZACR login command and specifying the registry name next to the name parameter. After that, we'll use Docker push to push the container into our Azure Container Registry. And you can see that's been successfully pushed. And if we go and check out our registry in the Azure Portal, if we refresh it and check under repositories, we should see that Hello World container image is there. If you go into that repository, you can see that the tag v1 has been added there as well, which we specified in the command line. Next, we'll do a run command using the command line interface to check that container can be run correctly. So hello from Docker, we see that, and that's successful. What we'll do next is then we'll just clean up those resources. So we'll go into the resource group that we created and delete that. And then we'll move on to the next method of how to create an Azure Container Registry. Okay, the next part of the tutorial is to use the Azure command line interface to create your Azure Container Registry. You'll need to log in using AZ login again and select your subscription. After that, you'll need to create a resource group using the AZ group create command, specifying a name and location. After that, you'll use the AZACR create command, specifying a resource group and the name of the container registry you want to create, along with the SKU you want to use for that container registry. This will create your container registry. And if you have a look in the portal, you'll see under resource groups, the new resource group that you've created, and you'll see your container registry under that. And you can check in the repositories under services, and you'll see that there's nothing there at the moment. So now we'll also check using the ACR repository list command to see to verify via the command line interface that there's no repositories there as well. And you'll see nothing from the output of that command. Next, we'll grab that Hello World container again from DockerHub using a Docker pull, and we'll tag that using v1 as the tag. Then we're going to log into the container registry using the AZACR login command, specifying the container registry using the name parameter. What we'll do next is issue a Docker push command for pushing that Hello World image into the container registry. And now we'll list the repositories in the Azure Container Registry again, using that same repository list command. And we can see that we've got that repository Hello World there now. And if we check in the portal as well, we can see that that Hello World repository is also there in the portal with the tag of v1. Next, we'll try running that Docker image using the AZACR run command. And we can see hello from Docker, so that was successful. And now we'll clean up those resources by deleting the resource group with an AZ group delete command with a resource group parameter. Once that's complete, you can refresh the screen in the portal and you should see that that's not found anymore. Now we'll move on to the final part of the tutorial. This is using Terraform to create your Azure Container Registry. You'll also need to use Terraform as well to create an Azure resource group. So with Terraform, you'll need to create a main.tf file, and you'll need to use the Azure RM provider, which is found in the source HashiCorp/Azure RM. You can Google that and find that provider. And in your main.tf file, you will specify two resources, one for the Azure RM resource group, and the other is for the container registry. So for the resource group, you'll need to give a name for the resource group, a location, and you can also use tags as well, so you can easily find your resources when they're created. And for the container registry, you'll need to specify a name of the container registry, just like we did via the command line and via the portal. Also, you'll need to reference the resource group name and the location, and you can pull that from the resource group resource that's been created first. Along with that, you'll need to specify the SKU you want to use. So we've always been using Premium so far. We'll keep using Premium, and also a flag to set that the admin account is enabled for this container registry. Also, you can supply some tags for this as well. So to make use of this Terraform file, what you'll need to do is run Terraform init. That will download the provider, so you can make use of that. After that's been done, you'll need to log in using the AZ login command, and then you'll be able to do a Terraform apply, which will then start provisioning those cloud resources using Terraform on your Azure account. So you can see two resources are going to be created. It gives you a warning on what it's going to create before it proceeds, and you can specify a yes to proceed with the creation of those resources. You can check in the Azure Portal and refresh the resource groups, and you'll see the resource group that you've created. And inside there, you'll see that there's a container registry in there. Check in the repositories, and you'll see that there's nothing there at the moment. So we need to push something. So we'll also do a repository list command using the command line interface for Azure, and you'll see that there's nothing there. Next, we'll pull that Hello World image again from DockerHub and tag it with v1, and we'll log in to that container registry using the command line interface with Azure ACR login, and then we'll do a Docker push to push the Hello World container up into our container registry. Once that's been pushed, you can do a repository list command, AZACR repository list, and you should see that Hello World container image is visible in your repository now. And you can check in the portal as well. Under repositories, you should see that the container image is there inside that repository. with that tag of a v1. Now we can run the run command, AZACR run command, to run that container image for hello world. And you should see hello from Docker. Now we can tear down all this infrastructure. We don't need it anymore, so we can do it all via Terraform destroy command. What it will do is it will first warn you of all the resources it's going to delete. You need to specify yes if you want to continue. And then it will process that deletion for you. When it's complete, you can go into the Azure Portal and refresh the repositories, and you'll see that there's nothing there. It's been successfully deleted. That's it for this tutorial. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up.